Hello there, Haiku Notes. Are you ready to do some more compiling? Today, let's have a look at Bastet. Bastet, it's a CLI program. It runs from the command line in the terminal, just like the previous one. But this is slightly more complicated because this one requires a library. And the library it needs is ncurses, which is a bunch of routines that allow you to do certain things that you can't normally do from the command line. So it's quite complicated in a terminal to say, put this little string of letters right there, halfway across the screen. But with ncurses, you can do that. So if we have a look, this is on GitHub, but it could have been on Codeberg, could have been on SourceForge, GitLab. There are plenty of sources. And let's have a look. It has a file. Where is it? There it is. README. Right, so that's your first stop. And most of these code repositories will display the README. This is just text, but sometimes it'll be in Markdown and you'll have a bit more pretty formatting to look at. And it tells you to look at install. Here is install. Not every program has this file. This is not a shell script to install things. Now you see those two, but then they'll have an sh behind them. This is just a text file said what is needed to install, to compile this program. All right, so let's start by downloading. Okay, here you get a Git address, which you can copy to your clipboard. But this time we're just going to download the zip. And there it comes. We'll do the whole use Git thing on the next one. All right, downloads. All right. Let's have a look here at this install file. So the first thing I do is select all. There we go. And just identify. Okay. Let's have a look. Prerequisite. Boost and ncurses. Right. So let's open up a terminal. Now I happen to know that the version of ncurses we have is 6, so I just put it behind there. Okay, so you see ncurses 6. That's the actual compiled library. And if you already have Bastet, maybe you downloaded it from my repository, then that would be enough. But we're going to compile it. So we need this one as well, the devel package. So that is more code that tells the compiler and the linker how to actually incorporate all these new commands into its own system. You sometimes see it referred to as the headers. Don't worry about it too much. So we're going to need those, which is packageman install ncurses 6_devel. You don't have to install ncurses because it's a default. Yeah, don't worry about bslide, they're offline at the moment. Should be back by the time you see this. Okay, now let's look for boost, because we need that one as well. While we're looking there, you see these instructions says that libboost-dev. Well, in Haiku, we don't use hyphens in our system file names. We use underscores, and we don't use dev, we use devel. Okay. Whoa. And our package, it appears, is not called libboost, it's just boost. Now, which is the latest one? Looks like the latest one is 1.88. Okay. Sorry. Hey. Sorry, my keyboard is stuck here. And is it doing that? And you can see not only is it going to install the devel package, but also the library, which is a dependency. Okay, so from what you saw last week, I think it was last week, make these things in advance. You should now say, okay, it's main CPP, that must be the main one. All right, let's open a terminal here. So you probably think what we do now is something like this. GCC L for library, ncurses. Again, L for library. Then O, Bastet. Oh, sorry, should be a space there. And you could do that. But because that line can get really, really, really long, you know, like taking up an entire screen, they came up with something else. They came up with the make file. Here's one. Let's open that. Right, and this is like a recipe, and it will find out where on your system ncurses and boost are stored. And it will, you know, say, okay, and then finally, here, it will start compiling at the right place. So, it's makefile with a capital M. I'm not 100% sure that that's required, but I've always seen them with a capital M. And all we have to do here is say make. And then we wait. Right? And pray a little. Right? So this one is using G++, which remember is, it's just a link. Okay. Some more hieroglyphics come up on the screen. And we're being a bit slow today. You can do it. And as long as we don't see big warning notices in red or yellow, okay. It seems to have worked. Let's see, where's my... Here, Bastet, that is my executable, and it even created a man file, right, which if you put it in the correct directory, you can just type man Bastet and it'll spit out a bunch of help, yeah. Which is just barely readable. Okay. So this is the sort of thing that you can do with ncurses. You can make a little menu. All right. And Okay, this is running. It's running a little slowly on this VM. I remember this being a lot faster on my main machine. Okay, you get the idea. We have successfully compiled a game. And it even has a little SVG that we can use for an icon. That's very considerate. Normally you only get a pin, which is fairly useless in Haiku. Okay. And so all you really need is this executable, and the man file is a welcome little bonus. Right? So you'd normally want to keep the README in your documentation, and you have to double check the license, which is GNU GPL version 3. Okay, so to summarize, you have to install the dependency, which is the name of the library, right? So for us that was ncursus6, and also the _devel. You do not need the source. If you let's quit out of this. Oops. Okay, I did gonna quit right out of my whole Haiku VM. Sorry, wrong key. Yeah, we'll close that. Thank you very much. So we followed the instruction. It only said ncursus, but the only version we've got on Haiku is ncursus6, so that's a no-brainer. But they also said you have to install libboost, and if you're going to look for that, you're not going to find it, because in our system it's just called boost, not libboost. And again, you need both the libboost, the boost itself, and the boost _devel. Okay, so that's easy enough. Shall we do another one? Let's see. I've got something that I've bookmarked. Came across this one just a few days ago. Now I've got some problems with it, and until it's fixed, I'm not going to put it up on my site. But yeah, okay, so this time let's get this code into the clipboard, and let me show you how Git works. Now Git is actually a ridiculously complicated program. You can do strange things with it, but for our purposes, it is a way to get the source code. All right, so we say git clone, and then this address that we got from GitHub. Okay, so it created this directory called breakwall, and let's just quickly do an identify. All right, there's no install file, so hopefully it'll all be in the README. Okay, so this is going to require SDL, which I think stands for something like Simple and Direct Layer. It's a graphics library that allows you to do graphics on a very cross-platform basis. And we do have SDL in Haiku. All right, let's have a look at it. So you can see SDL. Right, so we've got some old SDL1, but I am not going to worry about that. We are going straight to SDL2 because that's what this program is written for. Right, so let's just keep an eye on things here. And where's SDL2? Let's just make this a little simpler. Right. So it needs SDL2 itself. Where is that? That is libsdl2. Right. And okay, what else does it need? SDL2 mixer. There it is. An SDL2 image, and we got that one as well. Okay, and this is not going to do anything because I forgot to write. Okay, yeah, that looks good. That looks good. These packages aren't so big. All right. Okay, I've got all the prerequisites. And what else does it say? It's not much. Not much here, is there? Okay. So let's see what here we've got a makefile. Now here you'll see is a little shell script to actually get SDL and compile it on this system, but we don't need to do that because we do have SDL available for Haiku. So once again, we should just be able to say make and then start praying. Uh-oh. Let's have a look at this make file. Okay, compile for Linux. Right, so we have here a situation where there are specific parts set up for Windows and for Linux. So it's not written in a very cross-platform way. So let's see. I managed to compile this before. I must be able to do it again. Where? Parts for Windows. Compiler flags. So now we have to fool this thing into thinking that we are on a Linux system. How are we going to do that? Okay. You sure there's nothing in the README? Use the script of the following URL for help. Okay, let me switch the camera off and see if I can find how I did that on the other one. Okay, novice mistake. That terminal I was in was not open to this directory. It was on the desktop. No wonder it couldn't find anything. Try that again. Ah, that's better. So it's following the instructions for Linux, but our systems are close enough to Linux that they should work. Not always the case. Sometimes you're going to find an application that will tell you, sorry, your operating system is not supported. Then you have to know the make system very well to rewrite that make file correctly. Okay. Hieroglyphics. Yeah, after a while, yes, all this stuff starts to make sense. Now, you sort of remove the hyphen in the first letter, you see all uninitialized, that sort of thing. So yeah, you can sort of start to see what it's doing. But I think you can appreciate that doing all this on a command line would have been, a bit of a problem. And so that's why we have this make system. Okay, this should be done soon. Okay, Remind me never to compile something really big on this VM. It really is slow. You can see I've got a core maxing out there completely. Okay, let's just clear things up a bit here. And if we go in here, you'll see that a lot of O files are being created. There's a new one. And those are object files. So they've already been compiled, and now they need to be linked together into a single executable. And for that you use a program called a linker. But GCC has all that already. And there is my new executable. Okay, so I'm going to run this now. However, you will see that why I'm not going to immediately put this up on my repository. I think they can do some more work on it. For one thing, it comes up and it immediately starts playing, and there's no start the game click, which I think is a bit disconcerting. The other thing is it completely hijacks the mouse. You can't get your mouse out without stopping the game, which is just bad behavior.
World of Wonders. World of Wonders.
And no, playing a game over a certain politician's face doesn't bother me in the least. See, but you notice that the game started in the top left corner, and because it completely hijacks the mouse, you can't really move it. So I think they need to work a little more on that one. Okay, so we've now compiled an ncurses program and an SDL program. But these have rather well-written makefiles. There are programs that, before you can even compile them, they have to be configured. And so that's what we're looking at next week. See you then, and thanks for watching.